Back on the show is Calvin Kattar, who's going to be taking on Renato Carneiro coming up here at UFC 223 on April 7th. Calvin, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good, man. I think that's the first time I've ever heard that name pronounced correctly in the camp so far.
I think I might have butchered it just a little bit, but that's okay. The main thing is I got your name right, and that's the most important thing. And it's been a while since you and I talked. Well, actually, not that long, I shouldn't say. Of course, we talked right around the Super Bowl time, and I know you were in Vegas for that time, doing the training camp and everything like that. How was Vegas getting to train down there?
It was great. We were fortunate to have a 10-week camp, so we were able to take a nice break about 6 weeks out. We're landing us about a month out from the fight, and it was great not only to be on the same card, but as Rob Font and Kyle Bochniak, the teammates, but to have us all go out as a crew and a team. It was good vibes, man, setting us in the Boston card right.
What was sort of the biggest benefit for you being out there? Was it the Performance Center, or was it something else that sort of, you got really a good use out of?
Just switching it up. 10 weeks is a long time. I think you're more used to about a 6-7 week camp like I have this one coming up. But a 10-week, we try to start slow and really and focus on the details. And it was a good switch up, like I said, a month out to keep things from getting stale, seeing the same gyms, becoming too routine, keep us on our toes a bit. But the facility was top notch. The staff there was great. We still keep in contact with a lot of them. They followed up with us. It was a great experience overall.
And you didn't go crazy at all with the Patriots losing the Super Bowl. I hope you behaved yourself.
You had it. I knew the dig was coming, man. It's fair game. I gave you a couple before it, so.
Yeah. No, fair enough. So you're fighting in Brooklyn. This is a pretty stacked card. This is one of the biggest cards it looks like so far this year anyways. How happy are you to be on this card in Brooklyn, or does that not matter? It's just, hey, I got an opponent.
No, it's a great experience. New York's cool. I got family out there, so New York took Boston this time. Now Boston's going to New York, so it's nothing different for me. I'm excited. Quick turnaround. We're able to jump right back into camp. Kyle's on the card. It's a great vibe again. We got Joe Lozano on the card. That's always awesome. His student Mike Rodriguez. It's going to be a great vibe out back and a short drive for everybody. So it should be similar to the Boston feeling going in. Just we're excited about it.
Yeah, now the roles are reversed, though. You're going into, well, for some of you guys, it's enemy territory. For you, in your case, not so much, but it's still cool to fight in Brooklyn, I'm sure. So I mentioned off the top there, you're taking on Renato Carneiro. How do you feel like you match up against him? He's got a great record, 11-1-1, and he's actually got a win over Jeremy Stevens, who just fought this past weekend.
Yeah, shout out to him. He had a great fight. It's great to be, at this point in my career, taking tough fights, showing people I belong, and Renato's going to be a great test, and I'm excited about the opportunity.
And he's obviously, got a lot of fights, but he hasn't fought since July. Of course, that's when he fought Brian Ortega and he lost. Do you feel like the layoff's going to affect him at all in this fight?
I think he's doing well in that fight too. And then I think he made a mental error just going for the takedown or something like that. But, I think it's going to be a tough kid overall. There's no easy fights in the UFC. Like you said, the record's out there. Everyone in the UFC is pretty much up there in competition. It's really about what we bring to the table, how we game plan differently for each guy and go out and execute the night of the fight. So I'm excited about Renato Carneiro. I always call him that. I don't know. I'm excited about the opportunity to go out there and fight against him. I had the chance actually to meet him in Sao Paulo when Rob fought. I was out there for that, and we were in the crowd together. So shooting the shit, and he's like, maybe one day we fight. I was like, nice to meet you too. But here we are. It's what we do. But I think we match up well.
And we talked about Vegas getting to train out there. I imagine back home it's been, still training at Lozon's MMA and training with, the guys that are part of Top Game, of course, Rob Font, Kyle Bochniak, those types of guys.
Yeah, it's awesome, Joe. To not only be training out of Joe's and getting the quality work from all the top New England guys, he's on the card this time. So what a great experience. And, shout out to Broadway BJJ getting in over there with Kyle, obviously, 617 Fight Sports with my coach, Carlos Neto. And then, really just getting overall the best work I feel like that we have at our disposal and taking advantage of it.
And how's it been balancing, obviously your work with Combat Zone? I got to give a shout out to them because you're wearing the shirt. But how's that going along with training camp and everything? Do you kind of scale back on that stuff leading up to fight time?
So we have a little bit more time in between this next event, which is nice. But really just to kind of get things going with the right foot. No one likes to do anything half-assed. So it's exciting, though. We had a great show February 18th, and that was following the fight January 20th. So it's kind of been fun bouncing from the fighter to promoter side, and I'm excited about this upcoming event. There's still a lot of things that I'd like to see on a promotional level. I'm always, trying to do better and better on both sides. So I'm excited about that next event, hopefully in June, summertime.
We got a lot of time before this fight, a couple weeks at least. How's the weight cut going? Does that process sort of start now, or is that a little bit closer to fight time?
Shit, I feel like it never ended right from the last one. I had 1 week in Vegas and, right back, man. So I'm excited. Regardless, I like to eat healthy. I like to stay in shape, and a quick turnover isn't the worst thing to happen, especially since I made it through the holidays on the last one. That was tough. This, I'm not missing much. I'm excited about going out, performing, and then, we'll see what happens around the summertime.
Okay, fair enough. What did you get to eat in Vegas? Everyone's got a vice when it comes to food. What's yours?
Mine's everything. I go all in. I feel like anything I've seen anybody eat all month, it's registered in my head, and I gotta at least try it. I try to do it all in 1 week so I can get it out of my system. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I had some good eating in Vegas, man. You go to the right spots. I think we went to like Mama Funku and got some pork buns. Highly recommended.
Okay, good stuff. I gotta check that out. How do you see this fight unfolding on April 7th? I mean, you're gonna get the win, but how do you sort of see it playing out?
I see it being a great fight. I think Renato's is good at game planning and sticking to it, and also brings a fight. I feel like I'm much of the same. I think you're going to get the same as me and Shane Burgos, but you're going to get a trickier Renato. When he exchanges, I think it's just going to be similar but a little trickier. So I'm excited about it, and I'm just going to do what I always do: go out and try to put the hands on him.
Do you feel like you're the most underrated featherweight in the division right now?
Hey, it's their job to underrate me, overrate me. It's my job to go out and deliver. And I'm excited to go out there every time and prove everybody wrong or right. But, both get my hand raised at the end. And that list ahead of me is getting smaller and smaller every time. You just go out there and concentrate and get your hand raised. That next match, I'm excited about this 2018 and the start.
Well, I say that because, you fought a prospect in your last fight. You're fighting another prospect here. I imagine after this, you're going to want a name. I mean, there's a lot of guys in the division, and you've certainly earned the right, especially if you get a win here. Is that kind of what you're looking at after this? I know you're not looking past your opponent, but you kind of, yeah.
I see caliber opponents only going up, but Renato Moicano is a good testament to that as it is, and I'm excited to climb these ranks, man, and really just take out whoever they put in front of me. I think that's my job. I like to just focus on that and let the UFC and Tyson work on who's next.
You watching any TV right now? Any Netflix, anything like that?
I got into the Vikings, man, last fight, and then I watched 4 episodes straight, and then I stopped the fight, and I just fell out of rhythm. But now I got a fight booked again. I'll probably finish it off. But, just bounce around here and there. I still got to finish off the last one before I allow myself to start another series. Yeah,
that's smart. You got to stay in sequence. Otherwise, then you'll
quitter.
Just forget about it.
And I'm not a quitter. We're not breeding quitters here. We start something, we finish it next, right? I do that with everything, man. I hate quitting. So this is no different. I'm going to finish off Vikings and then whatever's next.
I got something you got to check out, and this is right up your alley. I just watched it yesterday. Have you seen the ESPN 30 for 30 on Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells? It's called The Two Bills.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Awesome.
Was that not great? I'm not even like a Patriots fan, but like to see the history there with, and I completely forgot about the whole thing with the Jets too. It was very interesting to see how that all kind of unfolded. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, a lot of history there. Most people don't know, but it was great to, hear it from them.
Yeah.
I think we're spoiled around here in New England with like I always tell you, man. I really feel like our sports teams and everything, it breeds. We see people winning and studying how they're doing it, how they're getting there. It's systems. It's the right people in place, and we're trying to transition that, man. That in the MMA, just working with the right people, thinking smart, and just training smart. Systems and everything.
Well, and I know you're not a big hockey guy. This is more for Rebello, but the Bruins got Rick Nash yesterday, so I mean they're sort of loading up too. So I kind of know what you mean there. It seems like everything's kind of clicking sports teams wise for Boston.
Yep. You're either climbing or you're falling, and we're staying busy over here.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to this fight. It's UFC 223 coming up here April 7th. Calvin, always appreciate the time, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
For sure. Thanks, James. Always good talking to you. Follow me at Calvin Kattar on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and tune in on this next fight April 7th, and you won't miss out.